Hi guys, I'm going to be doing the demo on the cinnamon bun bubble bar that I had previously videotaped and edited and made all nice and stuff, and I couldn't upload it, and I asked for help, and I guess everyone was busy that day. But anyways, I'm going to do it this way. I've been doing a couple videos this way, and it seems to be working. So basically I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these cinnamon buns. This one's just the smaller version. This is what I had left over of the bubble bar dough. They're normally a lot bigger, like they're probably about that big. I've actually sold them all in the last couple craft shows that I've gone to, so this was just my little mini. I was going to use it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because then I wouldn't have anything to show you guys. But this is what I'm going to show you how I made. So basically you're going to start with whatever kind of bubble bar recipe that you like. I used the Soap Queen's bubble bar recipe. Now I know when I was originally videotaping this, a lot of you guys didn't like it. Now it's just a preference. Use whatever you want. If you have a recipe that you've tweaked, use that. Use what you feel comfortable with. It has to be a dough that's going to dry nicely, not crack. I know I've done donuts and they've cracked a lot. This one I've actually kneaded, like dough kneaded, for much longer, and it stayed really smooth and it didn't crack. And this is the Soap Queen's recipe. So what I might do, if any of you guys are interested in that recipe, I'll just comment below once I'm done, just so that the beginners have something to use anyways, if you guys want to try that. And then the top part is just the coconut oil with a little bit of baking soda that I drizzled on. It's actually gone a lot more white. It was a little bit clearer when I originally made them, but these are probably about, my god, probably 3 months old now. So they've kept pretty well. I mean, we all know how, you know, the fresher the better, so make them closer to your craft shows. They'll look awesome, and then that won't go so white. So I'm gonna actually make the demonstration with Play-Doh bubble dough, and I'm actually gonna take off my rings first because I just clean them all, and my husband would be pretty upset with me if I got stuff in them. So this is a dough that, it's a bubble dough. So it's the dough that looks like Play-Doh. This is Nadia's recipe, Wish recipe. And this has actually stayed in my cupboard for just so, like when I originally did this, I wanted to test out how I was going to do it first. So I tested it out with this dough. This is why it's like kind of brown like that. And again, like this, I made this probably a good 5 months ago, and it's still like really nice dough consistency. So I'm actually kind of helping Nadia well, not sell, but helping Nadia have a few more people buy or get her recipe and use it. It's actually still really, really nice. So you are going to need some whatever kind of brown that you tend to buy. I bought a lighter brown, a honey beige mica, and this is from Voyagers. I'm in Canada, so I tend to buy my things from Canadian companies. And this is my darker brown oxide that I used, and that's from Candora. So if you're wanting to kind of have something to be able to work with, these are the two that I bought. So I tinted the actual dough with this, and then I'm going to use this darker one to do like the cinnamon kind of the darker parts. Alright, so pretty much what I did was I rolled this into a sausage shape. I'm actually going to move over. Perfect, there we go. And rolled that into a sausage shape, and being mindful of your ends and stuff. What you're going to want is one end that's going to be a little bit smaller. So squish that down so that your snake has a smaller end and then a regular end. And then you're going to flatten that. You're going to turn it over, and you're going to flatten this part just a little bit. So you kind of want somewhat of a square type shape, I guess. So you're going to start with that shape, Then you are going to grab a little bit of the darker mica or oxide, whatever you want to use. You could even probably use chocolate, I'm not sure. And you're just going to sprinkle a little bit on the area that you were rolling your dough on. And this is what's going to put just a little bit of extra color on top of your cinnamon bun. So whatever part that you want the top to be, put that on there and just kind of move it around. And you're going to see it's going to make little spots. And so what I did was kind of just rub it. You could actually even use your finger, really. I just found it was a little bit easier because after a few times, there's like a good strip of the mica on there, or oxide, and it tends to just kind of put just a little bit. Your first time is normally a little bit more. So now you're going to take your smaller end and you're just going to tuck it in and you're going to roll it like anything else you do. And at the same time that I'm rolling, I'm kind of pushing in the bottom. So it ends up being a little bit skinnier on the bottom and it kind of poofs the top up. So just keep rolling and pushing at the same time. I'm pushing on the bottom and you see it kind of puckers up like that. So see what I mean? It's a little bit dark for the first one. Once you actually do it a few times, then you'll have just enough to kind of coat the top part of it. So that's all I pretty much do. And then once it's dried a little bit, I go with a paintbrush. I put a little bit of the same brown that I've used, a little bit of alcohol, and I'll just kind of paint in the little crack just to add a little bit of kind of like a browning and cinnamon effect in the center. And then I'll let that all dry, and then I just drizzle the coconut and baking soda. Now I do know that there's some of you guys that live in areas that are a little bit warmer and your coconut doesn't, I guess, solidify very well. So you can use like cocoa butter, mango butter, whatever kind of butter that you want that does go hard. I don't know if I've never tried the like a melt and pour base, but if you wanted to try that, you definitely could. And then I just sprinkle a little bit of you know, sparkle or whatever. I did like a bronze type sparkle. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. But that's basically all it is. So I was just sorry, I got distracted by Marcia. If you had to guess, how many ounces of dough are you starting with? So that's what I wanted to mention too, and then I got sidetracked. What I was doing, my whole batch, I was cutting with a scale. I would put a chunk of dough, and they were all 5 ounces each. So you want to kind of make sure that all your dough is the same size, because as most of us know, when you're pricing, you're going to go with the smallest amount. So if you're just cutting and you have some that are 5 ounces, some that are 4.5, some that are, 4.3, and then you have a 5 ounce or a 5.5 ounce, you just lost an ounce there. So you really want to make sure that you take a scale, you put a glob of dough, and you measure it, and however big you want it to be. Like these are just little. I don't even know how much these are, but these would be really cute too. So it just depends on the size that you want. And then make sure that you stick with the same ounces per cinnamon bun so that they're all the same thing. So that's all I did. It's super easy, and they look great. This one's a little bit burnt, if you want to say that. But like I said, once you have that little bit of mica line, then you'll be good to go. It won't look as dark. So that's the cinnamon bun. So I'm just going to try and wipe this up a little bit. I'm just going to put a paper towel down. So then I just wanted to show you guys unmolding of the molds that we were talking about yesterday and doing yesterday. This one is the Cheerios one, or the Fruit Loop. So just like you would with anything else, you just pop them out. And it's super easy. Now, the center doesn't come through. What I'm actually going to do is either put a little toothpick or something and just pop the hole in. And then they should be good like that. But yeah, it bends. So it's super easy to just pull them right out. So you just have to clean them up. And the detail on them is amazing. I mean, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's pretty good. So that's those ones. These were the chocolate chip ones. These ones are pretty good too. They're a little bit dark. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there you go. So little chocolate chips. So I just mixed my melt and pour with cocoa to get that dark chocolate. And then I just popped the strawberries in the fridge so that they could harden as quickly as I could, because I knew I had a little bit of time. But so I had looked, and there was a hole. So you do want to make sure that you have a smooth surface and that there's no holes. I really don't know why, but anyways, that happened. These ones are a little bit easier. I find the silicone is more pliable, but that's so the detail is quite amazing, I find, anyways. So this one was the soapy water and the silicone method. So you can tell, like, it's quite. And then the strawberry. Now, I don't know if it's going to be completely hard. If not, I'm really sorry. So remember last night that I had done the little slices in there, and it keeps it in pretty well. The only reason why that it leaked like this was because I had just finished rinsing it out with water to get the leftover strawberry out from last night. So the mold itself was a little bit wet. I had dried the inside, but I guess the outside wasn't completely wet, so it kind of like streaked, but it holds it in really, really nicely. Okay, so those lines are to help you pull that out. Whoop. I hope that the soap. So this is a melt and pour base. I have not tried the cold process. Personally, I don't do any embeds with cold process. I find that it kind of just takes too long. And if you're going to make, you know, a few different things and you got to tint everything, you got to, you know, it's so much easier to just do melt and pour. I mean, yes, the ingredients list is a lot longer, but you know what? It's a lot quicker. I can get so much more done. So I'm just kind of pushing down, and now I really feel like it's still hot in there, but let's try it out anyways. I might be mucking up my strawberry. Oh yeah, it's not quite. So I'm just sticking my finger in there, and actually it's not too bad. I just smushed it right there, but that's the strawberry. So you just pull it out. It's not a big deal. It's not hard. It's, you know, it's still a little bit warm. So like I was saying yesterday, I wanted to, my other one, I didn't push hard enough on the top of the edge, and I didn't push hard enough there now. So it is a little tricky, obviously. You need to play around with it a bit. But I mean, really, if this is kind of mucky and you have your top, if you kind of push it into your cupcake or your soap or whatever, and you're covering this part and your bottom, nobody's gonna see it, right? So, but like I said, these are huge strawberries that I had. So this I would probably use more for a cupcake versus actual soap, because it's wider than, or about an inch wide. I just feel like I'd be slicing some of the strawberry when I cut my the bar type thing. So okay, Christy, use coconut oil soap. So you could, yeah. I just, like I said, it's so much easier to just melt a little bit of melt and pour soap base and pour it in there. But use, again, you know, this is just a demo of how I'm doing it. Use whatever you want. You know, try out the cold process soap. Let me know how it works. I know there's a few other girls that were kind of saying, you know, I want to try it with this, I want to try it with that. Try it out. Let me know how it works. But yeah, so those little slices that are in there just help pull it right out. And it doesn't affect your mold because it's silicone, right? So it kind of stays together. But that's what the molds that I was doing yesterday are. And that's about it. So Christina, you wanted the bubble bar recipe. I am going to post that. I'm just going to finish this up. I'm done, basically. So I'll post the recipe that I use. And then we can continue on with our day. Bye, guys.